Good morning. Welcome to Nigeria Now on TOS Television Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. As always on Nigeria Now, we're going to be looking at front pages of Nigerian dailies and just reviewing, top stories across the front pages. My name is Adesu Elsui, and I'm not alone on Saturday. I have with me Mr. Adebayo Fajimi here, who's going to be helping to do, majority or most of the analysis. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let's move straight into, the dailies, starting from the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. And the banner headline, it has a very glaring headlines on 2023 presidency. It says, Kwankwaso Utomi's third force, no threat, and that's coming from the APC and PDP. Riders underneath that says, mega party to be inaugurated in Abuja soon. APC too grounded to be threatened. Like those before it, coalition will fizzle out, and that's coming from the PDP. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, when this broke last year, we all heard it, and it is just very obvious. Reading the political structure of Nigeria, I do not really see anything fruitful coming from this third force of whatever they call it.
Really?
Yeah, because last year, general election is February, I think 18 next year.
Yeah.
So and with the political structure of the caliber of people coming together to form this third force, I don't see anything productive from the effort because it is too late for them. It is something they ought to have, started years or immediately after the general election in 2019, but nothing was done. So just some months to the general election, I don't see anything coming up.
But I've heard other opinions where people said, look, like you said, with the caliber of people that are coming to form this party, so it's likened to when that same set of people moved to, like an opposition party, before the general election, and then something really big happens. You don't think that's what we're going to see? But
I don't really see that happening because think of the likes of Professor Ataru Jega, yes. Patu Tomi. Yes. So politics is grassroots. Okay. So it is not about though academic credential qualifications, leadership ability and all of that are other prerequisites, but it is basically grassroots. Okay. So it depends on your ability to manage your structure at the grassroots. It is that makes you to win an election, not your academic qualification or just your leadership ability. That is not enough. Those also are part of the system, the process. But mainly, when you want to win an election, you must be able to build a very stabilized and a well-structured, at the very grass, so that people can, whatever office you want to fight for, people can, go along with it. So this is too late for third force. And even if you look at the caliber of people coming together, they are people that cannot really make things happen in the political system, so to say. So I don't see anything really good coming at the end of the day.
So the two ruling parties are right to not be worried about anything?
Sure.
All right. Moving away from that to the Nigerian News Director, the glaring headline there says, adulterated PMS, scarcity worsens as NNPC replaces stock in 8 days, loses 14.5 billion naira on 50,000 MT off-spec cargo, as federal government threatens to sanction NNPC importer, isolates adulterated fuel. That is also replicated on the Daily Trust newspaper that says adulterated petrol unsettles motorists. NNPC moves to withdraw 16.5 billion naira worth of fuel. Marketers wholesale to seek compensation. Higher methanol in PMS isolated case withdrawn. That's coming from the regulatory authorities. What do you think? Where do you think we're at? How does this speak to the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, especially the NNPC? The federal government is saying is threatening to sanction the NNPC for all of this. And the long fall quiz have continued. Initially, it was adulterated fuel, but it's like nothing is happening. It's been almost a week now. How does this speak to that sector in Nigeria at this point?
So I think it's more than a week because just immediately after the federal government said they are not going to remove subsidy. Yeah. It has been happening here in Abuja. So, and you see very many people stranded, on the road. So they could not move because of this. So I think federal government needs to be decisive. They need to investigate this matter, and I think they don't need to really tell us that they really want to sack him, because I think that's the watchword of the government that we have in Nigeria. We want to sanction, we want to do. Don't tell us what you want to do per time, but let us see you taking action. because this needs to come to an end. If you can't imagine what people are going through, people could not move, and even those people that could even move, you can see the hike, in the price of, of the transportation. Yeah. So it is very bad. And if the federal government say, okay, they don't want Nigeria to go through economic hardship by suspending that fuel subsidy, of course, they should also ensure that they do everything possible to ensure that what they are trying to avoid, so that citizens do not, encounter, they should try to avoid it totally, so that whatever is going to bring hardship or difficulty to the, to the life of Nigerians, they should ensure that they do everything in their power to ensure that they curb it. So this must come to an end. This is not the first time this is happening, so it has been like that for years, and I think it is high time they stop it, and everybody's okay.
But who do you think should be held responsible? Having this much adulterated fuel in the system, enough to cause this much scarcity of fuel. I think it's in Lagos, Ogun State, Federal Capital, and then even I think Oyo State as well. And it might actually spread to other parts of the country. Who do you think should be held responsible, accountable?
Sometimes you get exasperated, analyzing Nigerian, problem. Yeah. So you say you want to, but the issue is, like somebody once said, that everything falls and rises on leadership. You have people in leadership position in that very sector. So, of course, they should be held accountable. Do they want to say they are unaware of what is going on in that sector? Whatever, if they want to prove innocence of whatever is happening, then that means they are not responsible. So they should be held accountable. So it is not whether somebody is some people are saddled with the responsibility in the sector, and they should be held accountable. So they can't say they don't know what is going on in the sector. How come do we have adulterated, fuel? Then what are you doing there? If you cannot fish out these people and just know that, okay, what needs to be done is done. So I think they should be held accountable.
All right. Moving away from that to the Daily Trust newspaper still. And another headline that says Nigeria's data security compromised as NIMC portal remains comatose. Galaxy backbone contradicts Commission's claim. What is your take on this? Do you think that our security system is actually compromised? Looking at how the portal has been down for a few days now, do you think that Nigeria's security, is actually compromised?
Yes, I will say that to a large extent, but I think government needs to do more to make sure that our security architecture is more strengthened. I think I want to remember this federal government agency. I think a couple of days ago, in fact, last month also issued a warning like that, of something like that, of but I think rather than I think the problem we have is that we don't really have so much trust in the leadership system that we have, because when the federal government in the first place told us that we are doing this to ensure that we strengthen our security architecture and all of that, people are like, despite the effort the government is making and the problem, the challenges we are facing in the insecurity problem we are facing, then if you say you are doing this because of this problem, then this should have been reduced to the barest minimum. Yeah. So now, where do we face? So I think federal government needs to do more, and whatever step they say they want to take, we must see the results, we must see the productivity on the other hand. So you can't tell us that you want to solve the problem of insecurity, you say you want to solve the problem of insecurity, everybody should submit their data and all of that, and at the same time you see people being kidnapped, you see abductors all over the places making phone calls, and you cannot track these people. And most of these people that have been tracked, we have never seen any one of them being prosecuted. So what is now the basis? So I think that is a problem. So they just need, all I think we just need in that sector is just responsible leadership and nothing more.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on Nigeria Now today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for sticking with me up until this time. Nigeria Now comes your way again tomorrow. But before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And you can also stream our content on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Ade Suelsi. Thank you and see you tomorrow.